Big exciting news to start your afternoon on McConnell versus Trump as the push for the Senate races is underway. And you may not know what happens on election night, yes. But for stimulus, the highway may start to go in two directions. This is incredible great news. Her way or the highway may soon turn into the road or the toad. It's incredible great news, and this is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me for an encore edition of McConnell versus Trump 2 days before election night. And you may not know what will happen to the Senate makeup on that evening, and you may not know the next day. This is incredible news, but it's all good news for your stimulus. I'll be going over in this video why those developments are unfolding. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Your subscribing ensures that you don't miss a video when a video goes live, and also like this video. In this video, I'll be going over what's important as you go into these final hours and days for the Senate. There's been some talk online about McConnell gone, Pelosi gone. They're not being gone. They're not actually going anywhere. They're going to be reelected. But the question is whether the parties you currently see in control of the Senate and the House will be changed or remain the same. And what does that mean for your stimulus? Really exciting, great news. Let me go over in this video. I'll be going over that and why the path to get stimulus may totally change after election night. It's incredible, great news, and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that on election night, you may not know who actually dominates the Senate as the new party going into 2021. You may not know if the Senate it will remain controlled by the Republicans or remain controlled by the Democrats. That can ultimately determine the future of your stimulus because a path may change the entrance of a bill to become law. As you've seen over the recent few months, Nancy Pelosi has done a her way or the highway approach by saying, you know what, I'm going to do it this way or else. And she's done that even though she can't get a bill passed because there's a Senate controlled by the Republicans. The reason why she has done it is very simple. She presumed that the Senate will become Democratic on election night. She may be right. And if that is the case, then she's teeing up for stimulus relief thereafter with a Democratic-controlled Senate that will simply rubber stamp anything that she writes in the House. But if on election night or shortly thereafter or in the days that come thereafter you find out that the Senate remains Republican, this could be an incredible difference for your stimulus relief. Namely, it's not her way or the highway. What does this mean for stimulus? How much stimulus? How many stimulus checks? FPUC, hazard pay, all those incredible details. This was originally the time slot for unemployment, so you're going to hear a lot of unemployment in this video. All right, let me go over the amounts. First, Nancy Pelosi has always said that she will only do $600 for FPUC, her way or the highway. Well, if the Senate remains Republican, it won't be $600. It never will be. It will be a different amount. What are the possibilities of the amount for FPUC? First, it could be $300. Second, it could be $400. Third, it could be $450. Or fourth, it could be $450 and a $600 mixture. Let me explain the possibilities. Nancy Pelosi wanted $600. Well, Mitch wanted to offer $300. Next, some GOP leaders, which are the miserly ones, the ones that don't want to spend anything, wanted to offer $0. Steve Mnuchin wanted to offer $400. And finally, the problem solvers wanted to pay you $450 with a mixture of $600 in the weeks that follow thereafter. Hence, you see a lot of range of numbers. I have always said that FPUC will land somewhere between $400 to $600 a week. What's important to understand is that the next item for FPUC, which is categorically important, is the retroactiveness. How retroactive is it? FPUC expired in late July. So if it's not her way, the FPUC could go back to late July. She wants it to start in September, having you lose an entire month of FPUC. That doesn't make sense. So if it's not her highway, then you could see FPUC going back to late July. How far into the future? More about that in a second. Those future dates are very important. I'm going to get that in a second. Then, oh boy, I got a big great news for you. There's the issue of UI, FPEUC, PUA, and more. All of those things are coming up for expiration or have expired, or you've exhausted those numbers of weeks and you need more weeks. So her way is she doesn't give you any more weeks. That's her highway. The alternative, the two-way lane, is that there is more weeks going into the future. More about those weeks in a second. This is incredible great news, because if McConnell and Trump are able to retain control of the Senate as GOP leaders, then it won't be her highway. Also, stimulus checks. More stimulus checks? Yes. Steve Mnuchin wants to give you bigger stimulus checks than Temple Doom. Wants to give you multiple stimulus checks. The problem solvers want to give you multiple stimulus checks. Her way, one stimulus check. Her way, watered down stimulus check. Her way, not giving you stimulus checks from before. Hence, you see, the highway has not been particularly robust. Interesting. Then we got hazard pay. The highway, no hazard pay. Not the highway, also no hazard pay. Our way, hazard pay. You see how it all pans out differently. What I've done over recent days is I've been telling you the numbers of what's going on in the races, and those races have been playing out. But what I want to get back into today's videos is really focus on numbers. Money, 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 money. How much money you're going to get? Well, you know, her way for stimulus check, for example, $1,200 for adults, $1,000 for adult dependents on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and railroad benefits, $500 for children. None of those numbers make sense. That's her way. The other highway, I got to get a better expression. The expressway, the one that goes two ways, the one that when you negotiate and you act like normal people, that one is bigger checks. Steve Mnuchin was at $1,200 for individuals, all adults. Great news if you're on SSDI and SSI, you're not getting a watered-down check, not taken out for child support, not taken out for taxes, not taken out for debt collection. And then children get $1,000. That was about 4 weeks ago. Then Mark Meadows said the president has raised it. It's a higher amount. Never told you how much higher, but it's bigger. And Steve Mnuchin says, I would give you multiple checks. I will give you another check as warranted. Problem Solver says, we'll give you one check now. We'll give you a check in March. All really good. Better than the highway. You see how this is panning out. Then comes us. I gave you the two, then there's us. The followers of this channel, Purple Power, have been pushing for bigger things all across the board. Bigger stimulus checks, more multiple stimulus checks, more months of stimulus checks, hazard pay, more weeks of FPUC, FPUC retroactive to late July. And then we deal with the next factor, the forward dates. When do things expire? Her way, everything expires in December. Her way, everything expires in late December, early January. Her way, not writing a bill to protect you for December or January or February or March. Her way, check back with me about January in July of next year. I'll get to it then. That doesn't work. As amid big pandemics are hitting Europe, big lockdowns are hitting Europe. England, France, Germany, all on lockdown today. Italy facing lockdowns. Now the concern of the United States going on lockdown. Where is the stimulus checks? Where is the hazard pay? Where is the FPUC after those dates expire in late December? Don't see it? I don't see it. It's not there. The highway goes to a dead end. The highway stops. You fall off. The highway hits a block wall around December 31st to about January 10th, depending on the program. So this is not good, folks. No FPUC, no PUA, no UI, no FPUC, no student loan forgiveness, no eviction moratorium, no mortgage forbearance. Should I continue? No stimulus checks? It just keeps on going. Nothing, 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 nothing. No one has even taken a pen and taken a pen and writing something down, say, you know what, let me start writing something to protect the American citizens as an elected official. Nothing. McConnell versus Trump? Well, the title says McConnell versus Trump. Why does the title say McConnell versus Trump? You haven't talked about McConnell yet. What's important to understand is it's the GOP more than McConnell. McConnell's coming back. By his own account, no, not by his account, by third-party accounts, he's going to win his race. He's ahead by 8 percentage points in his Senate race. He's coming back. That's not the question. The question is whether the GOP will control the Senate. Now, here's the rub. There are some Senate races. I'm not going to go a lot into this in this video because I've done a lot, and I'll do it closer on Tuesday night. Is that there's Senate races in Florida, Arizona, that you may not know the result on Tuesday night. If it's a big win on Tuesday night for the Democrats that sweep the Senate and take it by a lot of seats, a wide margin of victory. I don't mean 2 seats. I don't mean 3 seats. I mean like 4 or 5. Then you know it's going to be Democratic. Then on Wednesday morning, I can start recording to you for what I think is going to happen now that we have a Democratic Senate coming into 2021. If we see the margin of victory as 2 seats, 1 seat, 3 seats, and those seats are Pennsylvania, oh God, I'm going to say go have a cocktail. I'm going to say go to the Calcina. Say hello to Sir Lloyd for me, because basically if it's a 1-seat race and we don't know what's going to happen in this country for the purposes of stimulus checks because the Senate is down to 1 seat, and the seat happens to be Pennsylvania where they haven't even counted the ballots that are mail-in, this is, that's like watching The Masked Singer and the mask is never removed. It's just, oh, goodness. So that's where we are. But the title says McConnell versus Trump. Is there a versus? No. Ironically, the parties are working hand in hand. Whether it's Mike Pence or Mike Pompeo or or Jared Kushner, members of the Trump administration had been dispatched in the last 2 weeks to Senate races to ensure the GOP gets reelected. What's important to understand is that when you're looking at these races, there's the presidential race and the Senate race, and they don't always mirror 1-to-1. Some of the Senate races are more important for your stimulus because ultimately we're trying to ensure that the senators are elected or not reelected. We're trying to see clarity of the situation. And those Senate seats that we're looking at are not swing states for purposes of the presidential election. Let me explain. There are swing states that each presidential candidate must win to get reelected or to get elected. And those swing states are a finite number of states. It's just a handful or so. Well, those same swing states may not be the ones that we're focusing on Senate races. Ultimately, there's a lot more Senate races that are open than swing states. And the Senate races that are close are not necessarily swing states. Sometimes there are, but not always. So that's why it's important to understand that if you're tuning in on Tuesday night and you're watching election coverage and they say, in the swing state, here's a breaking report. This swing state was won by this presidential candidate. Doesn't mean anything for your Senate races unless we see a Senate result. Ultimately, people sometimes vote in differences. They'll vote the Senate differently than they'll vote the presidency. But generally, when it's a sweep night where it looks like there's a massive avalanche that you show President Trump losing by a massive margin, then there's a possibility you could see the Senate going very Democratic that night. But if you show the race very tight between Trump and Biden on election night, you may also see variations of what could happen in the Senate races. Really exciting and really compelling. What's important to understand is that we don't know what's going to happen for the Senate, and we certainly don't know what's going to happen for your stimulus the night after the election night. But what's important is that the purple power push for your stimulus and get it done. Go on hashtag FPUC, go on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and tweet hashtag purple power FPUC, purple power hazard pay, and purple power check if you want to be part of this discussion. Go to the Friends channel, subscribe, because together we're going to get through this and get moving. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm. Coming up next is our big hit new show, Street and Stimulus. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay alive for more.